I know you didn't watch Zero Hour because if you watched this, you would definitely remember it. Is it a memorable moment? Yeah, but maybe not for the right reasons. This is a what went wrong. And basically, it involves a potential dive, a pounce, and then a pogo stick onto the mat, which we've seen way too much. Not a full pogo stick, but even if you're 10% pogo sticking from the inside to the floor, you're potentially done. So we're going to take a look at this right now. Now, the setup for this is really good. I love, by the way, Forbidden Door reminded me of the AAA show we were talking about last week. The production, the saturation, the grittiness, the color scheme, the way the O2 Arena looked. The production was top notch for this show. So let's talk about that, Zero Hour and the pay-per-view itself. So you can see right here is Michael Oku, and then here's the person who's going to eventually pounce them out. All right, let me zoom in. There you go, right there. I'm sorry.
No, I can't see anything.
Hey, I'm sorry you got the Royal Rumble $1,000 seats in the nosebleeds.
No, I mean, I can't see anything. That was
right.
my way of telling you I couldn't see anything.
Oh, well, we didn't get them.
I was doing this, by the way.
Oh, that's a blooper. That's a what went wrong within the what went wrong. I'm sorry. Hey, by the way, this segment is sponsored by Ecamm Live Virtual Cam. There we go, right there. See it now. There they are, right there. There he is, and there's Michael Oku. You see him now?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. James keeps me honest with this. All right, so here we go. He's about to do a dive or a lap around the ring in this direction, but he gets cut short by this right here. I already explained it, but if you're watching this right here and you see this guy going in this direction as he's by the ropes, do you think this is the makings, the ingredients for a what went wrong segment already? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
That.
Oh, I saw this.
And you forgot.
I didn't know that was that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't forget. I nearly sent it you. Oh my goodness, yeah.
This is about a 5 to 10% pogo stick onto the floor, but enough to, like, I'm talking about, dude, it isn't impressive, of course, but not for the right reasons. I don't know, like, Ricochet is getting out of the way. Wouldn't you assume someone's going to catch this guy, no matter which way he's going to land? But, dude, you got to be seeing your entire life flash right before your eyes. And he hits here. This is enough to be a what went wrong. But you know what makes it egregiously wrong? There's no X. There's no nothing. Ricochet throws him back in the ring, and this dude keeps working. Now, I'm not saying he's not a tough dude or he might have avoided potentially life-threatening injuries, but I have to assume he got injured. If not for the neck, the spine, just the bump with his knees on the floor right here could have blew both his knees out. That could be the best out of anything you can experience. But we're going to go to a replay right here in slow-mo. Just look at it. It's about as close as you can get to breaking your neck. I mean, I don't know if this dude still might have broke his neck. Maybe not here, but he's in the ring taking heavy forearms, taking bumps, running the ropes, running into the corner. He's still moving and doing stuff, but if it were me and I were the referee, and especially if I were Ricochet, I would have said, you're done, dude. Stay down. I would have had the X thrown up if I were the referee and had him stay right here, removed, and went home. I mean, what would you have done? This is just, they got it. Like I said before, in the Rogers Jackson, we have an exclusive clip here on the Rogers Jackson thing in the business. I used the words lucky and blessed. This dude is lucky and blessed if he is like not feeling it today, but he can still break a bone in his neck and be working. I broke a bone in my neck. I herniated a disc and I was still working for months and months and months. But the symptoms of like the stingers, the numbness, couldn't feel my hands, the drop foot, that started to creep up over weeks and months of bumping after the initial injury. So I hope this guy's okay, but this is definitely, the what went wrong is not even so much It's definitely the spot. But the fact that this guy was allowed to continue and the fact they kept him in the ring and kept getting heat. By the way, clotheslines, hitting him in the neck, hitting him in the head area. It's just like, where's the disconnect happen where you say, that's a dude that just got dropped on his head. Let's work his leg or do something. This is what you should be doing, right? Not the gangsters, but throw the X up and get the medical team down here and then throw somebody, even if it's somebody that says, I'm not doing anything tonight, throw that guy there and say, I'll take his place, whatever, get around it or just stop the match altogether. But the wrong decision was to keep going with him in the ring. What are your thoughts now that you finally remember it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally remembered it. I saw a clip of it on Twitter. Probably Sean Rossat put it up, and I looked at it. Jeez. And that's when I remembered not to check social or wrestling news websites because I don't want to ruin the results for myself. Not that you couldn't guess every single result in that pay-per-view, by the way, but that's another matter. Here's the thing, right? His head is so close to the mat, but everybody in the ring won't have seen how close that was. Ricochet probably wouldn't have seen how close that was as far as him clearing the mat, by...
Yeah, but the girl did.
Pico
the girl did right here. She saw it that I'm circling that you're not seeing. Once again, the segment's sponsored by Ecamm Live Virtual Cam. But what I'm saying is like one person saw it and it was the valet. She could have been like, or this dude should have just laid there. You know what I mean? He wasn't out or anything. He continued. Maybe he got very lucky and it was just a weird, it's a completely weird bump. You're backflipping to the floor and your head just barely, like 90% clears it, but you're still busting your knees, your stomach, your hips. Like I talked about the bump I took that really was ended my career and started my spinal issues. Got thrown out of the ring by Billy Gunn. Couldn't grab that middle rope, so not even over the top, through the middle. But I didn't go and turn. I went out and dropped straight down onto my right hip, and my entire spine shifted laterally. And it's never been the same again. And now for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to deal with the degeneration that I'm going to get from that one moment, much less the overall degeneration of my spine from the thousands of bumps that I took, which, by the way, what number would you give this bump? Like, say you take a standard back bump, front bump, body slam, clothesline. This might be 100 bumps off your bump card. Let's start rating that. Like, this is a multitude of matches and bumps contained within this one really serious bump.
Do you know when you paused it, exactly where you paused it just before he landed? It reminded me of Henry Godwin. Do you remember that from Raw 97?
The Doomsday Device, right?
The Doomsday Device, yeah. And he ends up breaking his neck. He comes back after like 3 months, if that, I think. But yeah, there was a bit where he's sort of side on and he looks just like, I mean, not him, but the positioning looks just like Henry Godwin's positioning, where he's almost side on and then he catches, the ring canvas in his case with his neck and ends up fracturing something very, very delicate.
Yeah, well, we're looking at here too, and that's an excellent point. When you land, sometimes it's, say, we've seen people do different things where, say, Rob Van Dam, when he takes a belly-to-back suplex, he told me when we worked, I like to, fold my legs over my head. This way, tucking down, as I'm showing everybody out there, and doing that doesn't feel great, and you could still break your neck, but that's about the best scenario for taking a really awkward bump. This here, besides the pogo stick, look, the worst thing is I've seen a lot of people that break their neck when their head is sideways. That's the worst one right there. When your head back is even bad, but some people say when your neck or spine moves laterally on impact, that's like the worst because you have a chance of severing that spinal cord in such a way where this dude could have like literally died on impact. And we go back to the Roger Jackson thing. This is also where the wrestling bubble is sort of ignorant to the way real violence and real impact and real injuries can work, because I'm sure if he got stretchered out, what would be the first thing people say?
Fake.
Is it a work? Because at the end of the pay-per-view, Will Ospreay is in a neck brace, and that could be what went wrong in a comedy sense. The first thing they do, they bring a backboard out, and we're going to probably, you can B-roll this in if you want, Chris, which, by the way, the commenters love it when you don't B-roll it in. But basically, what's the first thing you do with a neck injury? Or what's the first thing you shouldn't do with a neck injury?
Move them.
Sit the guy up.
Sit them up.
They sit Will Ospreay up as the backboard's being put on, and then they put him back down on the backboard. That's what I mean. There's people don't get in the wrestling sense what real violence or real injuries or real treatment for the injuries is even supposed to look like. So we really need to go back to like Russo says, and if in your mind, if this were real, what would be the reaction? What would be, and then when it is real, we can react accordingly and make sure. And I give Michael Oku a lot of credit for wanting to get back in the ring and continue, but I also warn him that it's going to catch up with you.